Guten Abend, good evening, and buonasera, everyone. Hello and welcome to our pre-event right before our annual press conference tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Before we start, the events going on in the Ukraine, the war over there, I think we all feel that is emotionally disturbing and really hard to comprehend, let alone to understand. That's the reason why we changed the setting for tonight and tomorrow. We will leave out the usual glossy videos and such and just talk. And of course, we will have some time for your question as well. I think that is more appropriate with everything going on right now. Well, tonight we would like to focus on one topic which we haven't discussed broadly yet, our brand group. It unites four emotional and passionate brands: Bentley, Ducati, Lamborghini, and of course, Audi. And these four brands are coming together for the first time tonight, represented by the four CEOs, Markus Duesmann, Stefan Winkelmann, Adrian Hallmark, and Claudio Domenicali. Welcome. These brands stand for unique characteristics when it comes to performance, especially craftsmanship, and future technologies. And the collaboration within the group opens up enormous potential for synergies. We will talk about that. Before we do that, and some other aspects, I'd like to hand over to my colleague, Antje Maas. She's heading corporate communications at Audi with some important remarks. Antje, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dirk. Good evening to our German and Italian media tonight. It's a pleasure to host this get-together with Dirk. As you know, we will talk about topics and figures exclusively with you tonight before making them public at our annual press conference tomorrow. So this is a sign of real trust in you. Indeed, please make absolutely sure to observe the embargo until tomorrow at 11 a.m. CET. But tonight, obviously, we want to go beyond talking within the brand group, but rather start a conversation with you. So therefore, I would like to invite you to already use the chat function, if you like, in order to ask questions or raise your hand at the end of our little introduction. Each of the CEO will give a statement and ask a question as soon as we open the discussion. We will do our best to answer all the questions during the session. And of course, some of you have already switched on the camera. We would very much appreciate if you did so. So now let's get started. Back to you, Dirk.
Thank you. Let's start with the first statement from our CEO, Markus. There have been a number of brand groups in the history of the Volkswagen Group. What sets this brand family apart from a pure alliance of convenience?
Yeah. Well, good evening also from my side. Before I start, let me say, and Dirk, you already mentioned that the war in Ukraine leaves very little room to think about anything else at the moment. And I really hope for a stop of hostilities and a return to diplomacy. We need to come to a sustainable solution based on international law. And now back to your question. I think we can achieve great things together as a brand group. This is also demonstrated by the strong figures that we will present at our annual press conference tomorrow. But the figures are just one aspect. Bentley, Ducati, Lamborghini, and Audi are highly emotional brands with great individual strengths. Bentley, for instance, is a brand with a unique history and heritage. And I've always been a great admirer of Bentley's relentless pursuit of both luxury and performance. And with Mulliner, the brand also stands for unchallenged craftsmanship where every customer request is possible. And working closely together with Lamborghini for over 20 years has been and still is a wonderful experience and a proof that we can build lasting partnerships at eye level. Lamborghini is well positioned in the super sports car segment, and Ducati serves as a strong base of bike lovers like myself, and in general, a clear differentiation between the products of our group, of our brand groups, is extremely important. In the interplay between Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, and Ducati, we have the power to tackle our competitors from nearly every angle. By creating synergies in the technology and the back end, we can achieve a high level of differentiation in our products. Collaborating on these overarching issues provides the brands with the possibility to invest available capacities in brand-specific characteristics. And by working together in the brand group, we are therefore enabling not less, but even more individuality.
Thank you, Markus. And let's start with the newest member of the family, which is a particularly beautiful daughter, Bentley. The luxury brand has been part of the brand group since January 1st, and Bentley is represented by our esteemed CEO, Adrian Hallmark. Adrian, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, from an outside perspective, the question might arise as to how Bentley fits into the brand group. Let's start with Markus.
Well, from our perspective, Bentley is an optimal complement to the group. Everything I've seen so far, working together with the guys, makes me very optimistic. There's a really great team spirit at Bentley. And we are getting excellent feedback from the project team working on integration and synergies. We already proved that we can work together well with the Audi Q8 and the Bentley Bentayga models. We will collaborate even more closely on our path to electric mobility. And we are committed to accompany you on your way to becoming the most sustainable luxury automotive brand in the world.
Thank you very much, Markus. Adrian, you have said several times that Bentley is benefiting from Audi on the path to an electrical future. So what, on the other hand, is Bentley contributing to the group?
Well, thanks for the question. And just building on what Markus has described, clearly, as a company, we are at the top of the luxury league when it comes to sales. So it's a successful global luxury brand that is now part of this even stronger luxury premium brand group. But we also deliver, because of that, great ROI, great return on sales at the top end within the brands within the group. So we add economic value, and we think there's even room for more. But of course, we also bring skills. 102 years of heritage is one thing, but the skills that we have in crew, developing our cars and the interiors, as well as the ride and refinement, is something that I hope we can share with our colleagues in the future. Maybe not so much Lamborghini. Wouldn't fit with them.
Thank you. Stefan, Lamborghini has been part of the Audi family since 1998. And if there's anybody who has got very deep insight into the family's relation, it would be you, wouldn't it?
In fact, when Audi bought Lamborghini back in '98, we were a one-model company delivering a couple of hundred cars with an H car, which was at that time the Lamborghini Diablo. Today, we are a three-model company. In 2021, we had a record year in every aspect. So in terms of deliveries to customers with 8,405 cars, with a turnover which was close to 2 billion, with 1.95 billion euro, with an ROS of 20.2% and an operating profit of 393 million. So something which is very good for us. But this was also only possible being part of this group. So Audi knows brand, Audi knows leaving or letting people work also autonomously. And this is something which is going to be even stronger in the future if we look into electrification, because here we have even more synergies in terms of electrification and digitalization, for sure, for Lamborghini.
Well, that sounds very promising for you, Adrian, as the newest member of the family. So Bentley has already announced its figures and they look excellent indeed. So congratulations. Can that be topped? And what, looking ahead, are you hoping to gain specifically from the collaboration within the brand group?
Well, first of all, we believe our performance that we achieved last year can be topped. As we've already heard, it's not just about profits, but that basically funds our future. But if I look at the collaboration already, the big difference, the game changer for Bentley, is that instead of us being in the group and actually taking technologies that are already developed to create our products, as we have for the past 20 years, with the new battery electric vehicles and with the autonomous and connected capability, we're right there at the beginning of the development of these architectures and technologies. So our needs can be integrated from day one, and the collaboration within the teams is incredible already. It's a step change. It was already good, but it's a step change for there. So this period between 2025 and 30, when we go fully electric, 5 launches in 5 years, we couldn't do it on our own without this level of integration, collaboration, and the synergies we can get from those investments. It's huge.
Claudio, coming to Ducati, you've had already quite a history with us as a family. Ducati has been part of the Audi family for 10 years, and yet the brand sticks out simply because its products have 2 wheels and not 4. The potential synergies are not so obvious here. So what does Ducati contribute to this group, and how does the group benefit in turn from your rich tradition?
So thank you. Yes, it's a quite already a certain period of time, 10 years, that we are part of the group, and really also for us have been a learning curve, and I think we are really taking speed now. Also for us, like our colleague of Lambo, last year have been really fantastic, not only in terms of customer delivery, but all the financial that we will release, the best turnover and the best operating profit. But this is because actually you take some time to actually really integrate and to start to release the synergy. There is a lot on what we are doing on the technology side, but then on what we are delivering to the group, I think that actually the variety of the customer, it's very important. I think it's very clear that we are around here with very emotional brands, Audi, but also Lambo and Bentley are all very emotional, and bikes are emotional by definition. So we are very proud, let's say, actors in this field of 2 wheels. We have racing, we have MotoGP. There is a lot of exciting about that. So there are actually we have good sponsor into the board, Marcus being the first. But there are exceptional points in which actually we are merged also together with dealers, many different countries around the world, and actually our passionate customer that join a dealership, there is a lot of cross-selling. So I think we are taking to the group emotions, and we are taking to the group also variety of customers.
So electrification is a big aim for all of us. What is the road to electrification for Ducati?
Electrification has been actually a very strong pillar of all the discussion within the groups. Bikes are not cars, so there is something to be actually considered a little bit different. There will be, for sure, electrical bike in the future. We are following up the path of developing the batteries. Bikes are a little bit like a super sport car, in which weight it's very relevant. So even high performance premium car are not so much affected by the weight, but currently the status of the battery is still actually need to make some compromise. There is a very strong roadmap in improving the energy density of the battery, and that will follow up in the product. We are committed so much that we decided to enter into the Moto E. That is well known. We just announced kind of something like 5-6 months ago. So we will step in as the unique supplier for the Moto E Championship in 2023 for 4 years. And this will make us possible to develop the people, develop the knowledge, develop the technology for a typical Ducati e-motorcycle. So starting from the top, from the best performance, in order that once we will be ready to develop the product for the customer, we will be the product that every customer is expecting from a Ducati.
Thank you, Claudio. You mentioned electrification, and I think electrification is one of the areas where synergies can be found. Markus, can you put some figures on the area of synergies?
Well, we expect a high triple-digit million euro range for synergies in the coming years between our brands. And we have decided a strategic goal in the brand group to achieve more than 11% return on sales in 2030. And until then, we will run in the corridor of 9 to 11%. So these are very ambitious goals for us, but we are up for it.
So, Stefan, Adrian, strong figures are also the key when it comes to future investments of your brands.
Yes, in the next 5 years in Lamborghini, we are investing the highest amount ever. So it will sum up to 1.8 billion euro until 2026. This is the first phase to get all our lineup hybridized. And this is not even counting what we need to do next, because then in the second part of this decade, we will have our fourth model, so the model number 4, which will be our first full electric car. So there will be more to be done.
Adrian?
Yeah, so for Bentley, we have a similar story. We've committed to circa 3 billion investment over the next 7 years, up until the end of the decade, to fully electrify our product range, to transform the factory, to decarbonize our products, the factory, as well as the supply chain, and to reinvent the product portfolio. And, you know, as I've said before, without this technical collaboration and being part of this group, it would be very, very difficult for Bentley to do it alone. But the good news is, and you talked about results first, it's important that we fund this growth ourselves. So we're not asking for money, we're asking for technologies, and we're in the lead or co-lead in terms of defining the need for Bentley as these technologies are being developed. It's a unique opportunity.
Thank you so much to spend your time with us tonight, and we are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.